That's not fooling around on kazoo. You didn't come here for a kazoo show tonight. Um, I still owe you the Star Wars kazoo show, by the way. I promised that all the way back in May. And now that the channel's back online, that's finally going to happen. And I'm going to get it in before 2022 is out, I promise. Maybe before the end of the month. Probably more likely next month. Yeah, so where have I been? I've been around. I've been missing for like 4 months. I've been missing. So anyways, I did that Nintendo show at the beginning of June, and then I wasn't seen again till the beginning of August when I did my Galaxy's Edge review. And then I was planning to start streaming regularly again after that summer break, and then both my computers decided to be dead at the same time. I got one of them to come back to a point that was functional, so I can stream some things. It's still not running my games yet, so I'll be limited in the formats I can do until we can figure that out. My laptop is dead completely. That's not fixable. So there probably won't be any piano practice streams for a while. I really enjoy doing those, but I guess they're a thing of the past right now. They'll come back someday if I ever get another laptop. But I had this big long thing planned to tell you about everything that's been going on with my channel the last 4 months and why I haven't been here. But I think you probably just want to get into the actual content. I've been gone so long, and now you're just happy to see me again. So let's get into it. Today we're going to do a new format. Today I got a special delivery, a shipment from the planet Batu, which I have talked about on my stream before, on the Galaxy's Edge stream. Yes, I showed the lightsaber that I built at Savi's workshop on that stream. But since then, I have acquired all the parts that they have available. So today we're going to build random lightsabers, mixing and matching the themes. With the parts in front of me, which is a full set of everything they have available, there's about 1.5 million combinations. So what I did is, I'm not the first guy to do this, but the other guy, he's been doing YouTube for years, and he has a big following, so he can just tell his followers, leave in the chat what do you want to see on the next lightsaber video. But for me, I don't have that luxury. I don't have the viewership yet, so for making mix and match frankensabers, they're called, I put all the parts into a list, and I'm going to run the list through a randomizer to pick the parts. And we'll see what kind of cool things it comes up with. Let's switch over to, alright. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Hold on. Shoot, hold on. Oh yeah, I was going to show you pictures real quick. That's why I have the browser window open. Hold on, let me go get turn my light on, and then we'll start. So for lightsabers, I have all 6 available colors. Wow, that's trippy. It's doing that mirror effect thing that it does when you look at your own Twitch window in a browser. Okay. All right. Let me go over here. Yeah, that's better. We're going to pull up Google Images. And I'm going to just give you a quick overview of all the different themes. So the theme I built, we'll just look up the Google search and go through it from here. So this image is the elemental nature theme. These lightsabers represent Jedi who are in tune with the living force. Unlike the other themes, which are made from the traditional metal parts, these are made of organic parts, things that were once living. You can see bantha hide wrap. You can see rancor tooth. There's Carthusian whalebone. And also there's some brylark wood, which is a very strong, almost as strong as metal kind of wood they have on Kashyyyk, the Wookiee planet. All right, so this theme is peace and justice. This is the traditional modern Jedi, and these parts are sleek and shiny. And then the next theme is power and control. These parts represent the warriors of the dark side, the Sith, and the strong fighters who follow the dark. They have some really cool looking parts as well, because you know what they are. And then finally, let's find here. Protection and defense. This theme represents the Jedi of the Old Republic, who at a time when the Jedi were less corrupt and less clouded than they are in the modern era. These Jedi represent the pinnacle of good and the light side of the Force. All right, so now you've seen the themes. I also want to show you, in addition to the regular parts, the creature stall at Batuu has also released a series of creature figures that can be attached to your lightsaber as the pommel caps. So you can see here, so here's the bantha. That picture didn't blow up. All right, so this one is a porg and a wampa. And then here is the rancor, lothcat. And let's find... All right, I'm not seeing the two new ones. Well, it's there. All right, bantha. Oh, why is it the back? All right. And there's actually, all these creatures have their names on Orabesh on the back of them. And there's a typo on the bantha. It's the banthba now. And then the convor owls. So those are the 6 creatures we have available. Sometimes the randomizer will give them to us. Sometimes the randomizer will just give us regular end caps. We'll see what happens. I think it's close to half and half, because there's 8 regular pommel caps and 6. And there's also 6 creature pommels. So let me see what's going on here. Let me fix that browser window, because it's supposed to be on my... There we go. There, now it's showing the part list, which means we can now actually, you can see the me cam, and then the part cam over here in the corner, and then the parts list, and then we're about to hit the randomizer so we can see what we're building first. So the way I do this, we'll randomize the list, and then we'll take the first part in the list that it says for each part we need. Hold on. It wasn't showing from the top of the list. So right off the bat, the first part we need is the crystal or the C. And the very first line starting with a C says green. So we're going to be building a green lightsaber. I'm going to put in a battery pack and bring this over to the parts cam real quick so you can see the green glow. And when you put a crystal in a lightsaber, it glows and flashes the color. And that's how you know that the crystal is inserted correctly. And I have a core ready to go for each crystal. So I have all 6 crystal colors available. And I'm clumsy, so you won't have to see me fumble with them because all the crystals are preloaded. I have a core for each. So we have our crystal. Now we need a switch. And the very first S, piece plane. I use kind of a, I don't know what these pieces are officially called. I use kind of a shorthand, that kind of a descriptor. So piece plane is what I call this piece right here. It's just the switch, and then this simple groove all the way around. Not real fancy, but it's nice and simple, and it's elegant in its simplicity. Sometimes less is more. Let's go ahead and attach the switch into the core. And the next part you put on after the switch are the 2 grips. And the way I do that is whatever the first 2 grips are listed, these are the ones listed over here with G. The first one is top, the second one is bottom. So our first G says piece wide stripe. That's this piece right here. I call it wide stripe because of this wide band around it. And that's the first grip listed, so that'll go on our top. Like that. And now the second G is piece wide stripe. Protection and defense runes. That's this piece here from the protection and defense set. This piece has ancient runes on it. Nobody knows what they say, but that's what the piece looks like. So this will be our bottom sleeve. We'll stick it on the bottom. And let's just test. Yeah, I inserted this. I put on the switch correctly. So, all right, we need an emitter. So the first E says control black. That's the name I've given to this piece from the power and control set. The one that's all black and kind of a hexagonal top right there. It's not, I know it's not showing up well on camera against my dark clothes because it's black. But that's the emitter. It'll go in the top like that. And then we need a pommel. So the first P says control black. I use that name for this piece for when it comes to the pommel cap. And we just missed having a creature pommel because the very next pommel listed was Convor. Oh well, maybe the creatures will come around later. So this is what the end cap that the randomizer has selected. It's the fancier of the 2 power and control pommels. We'll stick that on the end of our saber like this. And wow, this is an this saber is an interesting design. Let me think. Hold on. All right, so this saber is an interesting design. You've got at the ends, you've got your Sith parts, but in the middle, it's got parts representing the ancient Jedi and the light Jedi. So maybe this is a balanced lightsaber. It is a pretty cool looking one, I will say. The runes don't really go with it, but otherwise it looks like it's pretty much... It almost looks like it holds together on its own. Let's go ahead and light it up. And for the saber demonstrations today, I actually am not using my main Savi's blade. I actually have a few of them, but I also got the short blade of the shorter length and a blade of the longer length. And the longer length I generally don't use. It just gets in the way. It's there if I ever need to light up all 6 sabers at once. But this one, this is my shorter one. I got it in the short length. And I find it, and I often find it easier when practicing posing to just work with this one because it's shorter so it doesn't get in the way as much. So now we got it attached. Let's light it up. And there's the green lightsaber. And you can see it's turning everything around it green. Because that's what they do. These are bright enough to do that. And you'll notice as we play with them that each color has a slightly different sounding hum. So, this is, yeah. Green complements this build nice, I think. But yeah, we got a pretty good first saber for the stream. Let's go ahead and disassemble and run the randomizer again, and we'll get right into the second saber. Let me put everything back. All right, let's run the randomizer again. All right, let's scroll to the bottom and go again. So the first we need to find the top crystal. And it says this time we're building a... Wow, crystal's not in the top slot, so we have to scroll down. We want to do a blue saber this time. Okay, that'll be this core. And let's go ahead and put the power pack in. And you can see this one lights up blue. All right, so now we have, so we need our switch first. It wants to go with the same piece plain switch. So the same switch we just used. That's okay. We'll be doing a bunch of these. So I'm okay we're using parts back to back. Hopefully we'll mix it up a little more though as we move on. So I think I showed you this piece last time, but there's the switch. All right, now we need our grips. Control oval is listed for the top. That's the name I've given to this sleeve. And this sleeve is pretty cool because these little red marks here are actually translucent, and you can see the LEDs on the core through them. Which is unique. None of the other sleeves have that. Although I'm not seeing it this time. Maybe, I know they were showing on... Yeah, I can see it just a little bit. It's not going to show on camera. But some of the colors don't show through that little window. But yeah, that's a really nice looking sleeve. And it's my favorite of the power and control sleeves. Alright, what do we want for the bottom sleeve? G, elemental bone. Ah, that'll be this sleeve here. The Cartesian whalebone sleeve. We'll stick it on the bottom here. And now we need an emitter. Control black. That's the same one we had last time. That's this one. We'll go ahead and stick that on top. And pommel, very first line says pommel convor. That's our little owl creature, which will stick on the end of our lightsaber. A lot of people don't use the creature pommels with lightsabers outside of the elemental nature theme because a lot of people just don't think it doesn't really go well. And I'm on mixed feelings about that, and it does make the sabers look unique, I will say that. Alright. So here's what the saber looks like. And I may actually have to take a facility break in just a few moments here. But yeah, that's what it looks like with the convoy on the end. And yeah, this one doesn't look like it goes together as well. This is when you do randomized frankensaber parts, sometimes you can have lightsabers that just don't look like they go together well, but let's go ahead and light it up. Again, we're using the short blade for all the builds tonight. Here, let me show you. That's how short it is. And there's our blue. And you can hear how this one sounds different than the green one. Hold on. This sleeve really isn't tight. I've had that problem with a couple of the sleeves. But there we go. There's our totally mismatched blue lightsaber. All right. All right, let's take it apart. I wasn't going to stay on this one very long. That lightsaber, I don't think, looked very good. Still cool to see the convoy on the end, though. All right. One moment. All right. Sorry. I'm a little tired tonight. I just totally spaced out for a moment. Let's get right back into it. Let's re-randomize the list. All right, so this time we just did blue. We're not going to do, I'm okay reusing colors, but not consecutively. So the next crystal is white. So we're going to be using the white crystal for this one. Let's grab a battery pack. Now this core, sometimes the switches feel a little tight going on. So we'll try and do that carefully. There's the white crystal is not available at the workshop. You have to buy white and yellow separately next door. Crystal switch. Our top S says elemental wood. That would be this switch, and I call it elemental wood because it's got this patch of wood on the back plate here. You can see it a little better. The broad wood on the back, and that's from the front. There's the switch. My fingers are covering it. There's the switch itself. And sometimes the switches are a little tight going on the white core, but we'll do our best. And you'll notice this switch has a little bit of a little swirly pattern around the wood. Maybe it's, yeah, this, you can see it better in the light over here. All right. Grips. Elemental wood swirls. That actually matches the switch. That would be this piece with all the wood bits and the swirly pattern going around it. And that matches the switch it shows. All right, what's the second grip? Control oval. Interesting. Same one we just had. That's that doesn't match at all. Let's see how this ends up looking. Have I really been live for 36 minutes already? Wow. I did talk a bit at the first. All right. Emitter. Elemental wide. That would be this big thing. And this piece is heavier than some of the other emitters because of the wide top. We'll stick that right on top. And now we want a pommel. P. Lothcat right there. We get to go with creatures again. Here's the Lothcat. He's got a bit of a creepy grin like the Joker. Interesting. It's all elemental except for the one power sleeve. If that was an elemental sleeve right there, instead of a power sleeve, this might actually have worked. It's not bad looking, but that sleeve is definitely out of place. All right, let's light it up. And I just lost my parts cam, so bear with me a moment while I get it back up into place. All right, we're back up. And activate. And there's the white. And white is probably my favorite of the saber hum sounds. I'm not sure how well the camera's picking it up or if it isn't, but there's actually a little band of yellow where on this blade there's a little band where it doesn't process the white as effectively as the rest of the length. So there's a little band of yellow, but I haven't seen any blemishes on any of the other colors with this blade, so I'm not concerned about it. And I'm not sure why it's not making the clash sound. Probably because everything's not tight. Yeah, I didn't screw these together all the way, apparently. There it goes. Yeah. And this is, because it's white, this is just a regular light. It's not turning my face a weird color. It's just like an extra spotlight. Alright. Okay, I just dropped the parts cam again. I'll fix it before we do the next saber. There's one last look at our Lothcat saber. Yeah, I've got everything lined up in an organized manner in front of me. All right. Yeah, and this core is a little tight with the switches, like I said. So sometimes I have trouble taking them off. There we go. just pull out the battery pack. I'm trying to randomize the use of the battery packs. I gave them all a fresh set of batteries at the same time, and I randomized them, their use, in order to try and give them as even use as possible. And I'm just dropping things all over the place. I think the problem is that I'm trying to store the blade and the part cam in the same little tiny area, and they keep hitting against each other, and that's why they keep falling. All right. We're going to do another lightsaber. Oh, we're only at 31 minutes now. What I thought I saw 36 minutes earlier, it actually said 26. But what do I know? I'm more focused on what we're doing here. All right. Let's get one really good looking saber. I think that's our goal. So first we want the crystal blue. And we already did blue tonight, but that's okay because it's not consecutive. I want to make sure we try and do one of each color if possible. So here's blue. Let's power it up. All right. What do we want for the switch? Elemental wood. You know, we're going to switch things up because we just did that one. Elemental grip. That'll be this switch. This is the one I actually built with. It's got this little patterning on the sides. This is the one I actually built with when I was actually there in the workshop personally. So this was my original switch, the one I came home with. All right. Grips. Control squares. So that'd be this sleeve from Power and Control. It looks like a bit of a spaceship, doesn't it? And that's listed first, so it goes on the top. And this one actually, it keeps wanting that oval. That's all right. It wants this one for the bottom this time. The two previous times it had it for the top. All right. All right. What's our emitter? E, defense leaf. Protection and defense. We're finally going to get to see some. Protection and defense has these parts with gold trim. Like, for example, this emitter with a gold leaf on it. That's what it looks like. And for the pommel. Protection and defense flat. Okay, so it wants to coordinate the emitter and the pommel. That's pretty cool. That'll be this one. It's got this gold stripe around, but it, other than that, doesn't really have any it doesn't have any ornamentation or anything like that. Nice and simple for the end cap. Let's see how this goes. So an elemental switch with the power sleeves and protection at the ends. Let's see how this looks. That's an interesting saber design. And this is another one that I don't think goes together all that well. But hey, that's why we have the randomizer, to see what works and what doesn't work, right? Let's go ahead and try it out. And here we are with our blue saber again. All right. We're not going to stay on this saber too long. This is one design that I don't think mixed well. It's not bad. I don't think we can create anything truly hideous here, but it also... But it's interesting when it makes the end cap and the pommel from the same theme, or when it makes the sleeves the same, because it means it's trying. It's trying to make something that it thinks will look good. And what do I know? It's just a randomized list. It's not thinking anything. But all right. I'm trying to mix up the power packs as I drop them so that I can keep them shuffled. All right. What's next? And anyone who's stopping in chat, you can request pieces if you want to. I mean, we don't have to do all randoms. We can make our own designs too. But I'm going to randomize the list again. Red crystal this time. And lights right up red. Alright, it'd be interesting to see what it does with its red crystal, because red has been called the color of power by the gatherers. And while their show is very centered around the Jedi, they do claim non-biasness, and you can build Sith sabers there. So, alright, switch. The power and control red switch. I can see it's already going with a theme. So the red switch is this one. I call it red switch because of the red stripes around it. And because this the little red like bit of decor on the back piece of it. I'm not sure if that's coming out. But there's a little bit of a red decor there and the red stripes around it. So let's go ahead and attach the switch. All right, the switch is on. What does it want for grips? Elemental wood swirls for the top. That'll be this one again with the wood and the swirly pattern. And then for the bottom grip, the second G, Peace and Justice narrow stripe. That'll be this piece with all the stripes on it, but this is the one which doesn't have that wide band. So, did I read that right? Yeah, Peace narrow stripe. Emitter. The top E is protection and defense flat. That would be this one from the protection and defense theme. It has the gold striping, but no, this is the one without the leaf. We'll stick it on top. And then the pommel. Pommel says control flat. So that would be this power and control pommel cap. You can see this one's very, very simple. It's just got a red stripe around it like that. We'll stick it on the back like this. All right. Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. This top sleeve definitely doesn't go with it, I will say. The bottom to mid, that all looks like the top definitely clashes. That part, maybe if there was another sleeve there. All right. Let's test it out. Wow. And I know the way the camera works, it puts it puts white in the middle of all the colors, but it's actually a pretty, in person it's a bold deep red. It's actually a very crimson. It's interesting that it picked two different power and control parts while being a red crystal, because that is the Sith theme. But it also put in peace, protection, and elemental. It represented all the themes on this one. Yeah. That one I don't think works as a coherent design. Alright. What was that? 4, 5? I lost count already. That's okay. I can go for a while longer. I don't really have a hard stop, but I did start a lot later than I was intending, because one of my favorite musician streamers went online for a show I wasn't expecting, and I listened to them for a while. So it is about an hour later than I wanted to start, and I was already tired when we started. So I'm not sure how long we'll go tonight, but we'll keep this going as long as I'm not falling asleep in my chair. Okay, the switch is off. Is there a problem with the core? Did you see that everything just went off? Let me see if I can. All right, there we go. The core just glitched out for something. Well, I just took the switch off and it glitched out again. Hold on. Let me troubleshoot this core real quick, because it was working fine earlier. So I get the fizzle, turn the switch off, and it starts flashing, but then, yeah, there it goes. Does red have a different flash pattern, and that's what's confusing me? But now, yeah, there we go. It just started up again. Let's. Is that a bad power pack? Well, I tested all these earlier, and they all got fresh batteries today. There we go. I think we're back in business. Although it just went off again. No, it went on again. All right. I think we're okay, because it's staying on. All right. Anybody in chat? Feel free to make requests. All right. And meanwhile, let's randomize the list for another saber. So let's see. Our top C is purple. We had to go quite a bit down the list for this one, but it says purple. And there it goes. We got a purple glow. Hey, Crystal, are you talking about the stream or the core? The red core we were just playing with. And actually, I'm going to put a power pack in it and just let it sit and watch it for a little while we do other sabers. Yeah, I wasn't getting anything that time. Let me try reseeding the red crystal real quick, and then we'll come back to purple. Yeah, it was working fine when I tested earlier. All right, that crystal is definitely secure. And that power pack did feel a little tight when I was... Yeah, I feel the connectors inside where the power pack is supposed to go in. Let me try something real quick. I don't know if right now if it's the crystal or the core. All right, both these cores have, let's put a power pack back in. So both these cores are now powered. And this is the one that we took the red out of, I think. So if we put the purple in, yeah, the purple shines right up. Yeah, it looks like purple's... It looks like the purple one is working fine. The purple crystal is working fine in that chamber. And that chamber. All right, now let's test the red. So this is the chamber that the purple was in. And sometimes it's a little hard to get the... It responds right away in that core. All right. Maybe the crystal is just a little loose. Maybe the crystal wasn't inserted all the way properly. Seems to be working. Yeah, I think we fixed the red one. I think it was just a loose crystal. Now let's go back to our purple lightsaber. All right. Hey, Crystal, do you want to pick any parts for the next saber we do after this one? I know you're not familiar with the parts, but do you want to at least pick the color? All right, so switch. Defense, stripe. Oh, I like this switch. Protection and defense. And it's called stripe because it's got these little gold stripes around it. This is one of my favorite switches, I think. And I typically use purple when I do protection and defense builds. It goes, because I think the purple goes nicely with the gold accents on this theme. The purple and the gold complement each other. Yeah, we can do green next. Let me finish this purple saber first. All right, grips. Defense runes. Protection and defense, the runes. That'll be this sleeve, which does match theme with the switch. All right, bottom sleeve. Oh, I misread that. This is supposed to be on the bottom. Because guess which sleeve it wants on the top? This one again. The same one it's been top loading on all the lightsabers. The randomizer must really love this piece. Oh, that's what frankensabers are, a weird mishmash of parts. So it says for pommel we're going to do the bantha, but let's just see what we want to do for the emitter real quick. Emitter, defense flat. So we're going with this one again. We're going to stick that on top like this. And then it wants another creature pommel. Well, with there being 14 end caps and 6 of them being creatures, I kind of figured it would go for the creatures a lot. Here's the bantha, or actually more properly known as the banthba, because of the typo in the Orbesh on the back. But let's... Oh wow, the horns add a little bit of bulk to this and make it a little bit unwieldy. Let's see how this lightsaber plays out. All right. So yeah, that's our lightsaber. 3 of the 4 themed parts are protection and defense. If it wasn't for this power and control, we would sleeve in the middle. This would almost look like a cohesive unit. It doesn't look bad, but that sleeve definitely doesn't go with this design. Let's light it up. And there's our purple. And this one's definitely making me purple. And yeah, the bantha horns are getting a bit in the way of me just moving this around. Alright, let's do a green saber. So the way we're going to do this is I'll randomize the parts as usual, but we're going to ignore what it says for crystal. And we're just going to do green. And green is actually the crystal that I picked myself when I was there in the workshop for myself, building my very first lightsaber. Let's take the purple. Let's take the purple build apart. Alright, let's randomize. And you know what? It's given us the oval in pretty much every build so far tonight. So I think if it gives us the green, if it gives us the oval one again, I think we're going to skip it and go to whatever sleeve is listed under it. So here's our green core. Which is also my very first core. This was what I built my original lightsaber with. This is the one that I personally brought home from Disney World. Alright. I didn't randomize the list, actually. Alright, so we've got our crystal. Funny, green was only its 3rd choice this time, but that's okay. Switch. Defense stripe. This one again with the stripes. Like I said, I'm okay with running parts consecutively, so long as we do get variety throughout. Grips. For the top, the Peace and Justice black sleeve. That's this one. This is one of the fancier looking sleeves they've got. Bottom sleeve. Power and control ribs. That would be this sleeve. And actually, protection and defense has a sleeve that's almost identical. You can see the one with the copper band is protection and defense, or I should say gold. The one with the silver band is power and control. You can see how these two sleeves, let me put them in the better light. You can see how these two sleeves are pretty much very similar. In pictures, they look almost identical other than that band at the top. But you can see the ribs on the protection and defense sleeve, this one, are a little narrower, and the silvers are different. But it wants the power and control version, so we're going to do that here. So we've got protection, defense, peace and justice, power and control. What's our emitter? Elemental wide. We've got all the themes represented on this one. That'll be this emitter here. Oh, it's midnight already. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go too much longer, but I want to do a few more. I want to go till I do one that looks really, really good. Like, I look at it and say, that's a saber that I think, that's a saber that somebody would actually build, I think is the goal for one of these. And the pommel, it's peace and justice black. That'll be this end cap here, the all black one. This is another one I really like. And actually, the end cap is complementing the rib sleeve. Actually, this might be, even though this one still looks like a crazy mix of parts, this one's a little more solid looking than some of them, in my opinion. The middle still clashes a lot, but the end cap goes well with the sleeve, and this sleeve complements this sleeve because they have the same color palette. And there's that little gold bead highlight on this sleeve that kind of goes with the middle. And then we also have the copper accents at the top to match that little highlight right there. So this is actually a little more solid looking than some of the other sabers we've had. Let's light it up. And there's green. Again, this was the crystal that chose me in the workshop itself. There we go. Yeah, this is not a bad looking saber, actually. I kind of like this design. Yeah, one a day is not enough for frankensabers, I don't think. I think I'm going to have to do saber streams on a regular basis. I'm going to have to make this one of my regular formats, I think. Since I need to, since most of my games are unplayable right now anyway. And I just dropped my blade and my parts cam again. Let me get my stuff back out. All right, I think everything's back up to working. All right. Let's randomize again. So first it wants we just did green, so The next crystal is yellow. There's the yellow stuff. All right. Switch. Piece back. I know it says piece plain, but it lined up the two pieces next to each other, and we've already used that one. So instead, I'm going to use this one I call piece back because it looks very similar to the other switch on the front, except it has this little detail bit on the back plate. So we'll go ahead and use this one for this build. All right. What's the top G? Control squares. So we're going with this power and control with the squares again. Well, technically they're rectangles. And what's the bottom grip? Defense gold leaf. Ribs. I really like this grip. It's got this really cool gold design on it. Splash of color in an otherwise all metallic. All right. Emitter. Control black. That'll be this one again. A black hexagonal thing. And the pommel, it wants the convoy. I actually want to put a normal pommel on this thing. If you don't mind, I'm going to go off book here. Because it's been giving us the animals a lot. So it's set the first P that isn't an animal. Let's see, we got poor, Glothcat, elemental plane. That'll be this one. Unlike the elemental nature's Rancor Tooth pommel, this one, this pommel here, it does have a couple swirlies on it, but other than that, it's very plain. And like I said before, sometimes simple is best. Let's see how this looks. Well, we know the yellow blade is going to complement the, or the gold leaf bit down here on the bottom grip is going to complement the yellow blade. The top kind of looks good together. Even though the switch is technically from another theme, this top little bit, it all looks like metal and machine and like it could go together. The bottom clashes a bit, but it's a nice splash of color. And then, of course, a simple bottom where nobody's going to see that little bit anyway. Let's light it up. And there's yellow. You know what? This is a pretty cool looking saber. Again, it's not really the cohesive multi-theme look that I'm looking for to have. We'll know the finale saber when we see it. Because it'll be a saber that's so awesome. Or at least in my opinion, that's so awesome. Let's take this one apart. I've got at least one or two more in me. Maybe more. I want to end on something that looks really cool, like I said before, so I'm just glad I want to test the red core again. I want to make sure that was a fluke and not a regular thing. Yeah, it looks like we should be good moving forward. All right. Let's hit the randomizer again. We want we just did yellow crystal. So we want a blue lightsaber this time. All right, what do we want for our switch? Switch piece. We just use that. The power and control square switch. We haven't seen that one tonight. This is the simpler of the two power and control switches. It's just this, I know I said I called it square. It's actually more of a long rectangle. Not as fancy looking as the other one, but like I said before, sometimes simple is elegant too. All right, grips. Top grip is the Peace and Justice black grip again that we just saw. Bottom grip is the Protection and Defense ribs. And because the ribs are simple, are simplistic in their nature, I personally believe that they can go with pretty much anything. So we've got Peace and Justice, Protection and Defense, a power and control switch. What's our emitter? The elemental, our first E listed is Elemental Swirl. That's this emitter. And this is actually the one that I chose in the workshop itself when I was there. And this doesn't match anything else that's already on the saber. Interesting. Pommel. Elemental Plane. So that'll be this one with that little swirl pattern. So the top and the bottom are going to match. I don't know. It might be meaningful when the top and the bottom match. All right, here's the saber. So we have the matching swirlies on the top and the bottom. And then a whole bunch of metal machinery bits in the middle. The middle bits kind of sort of complement each other. And even to a degree, the end cap. The pommel doesn't really go. But parts of this are closer to that unified design. And I just knocked over the part cam again. We'll fix it before the next saber. And here's our blue frankensaber. I am starting to get really... You know what we're going to do? We're going to put the blade down in front of me like that instead of putting it where I was, because it keeps knocking over the parts cam. Let me fix the parts cam real quick. That Let's take apart this saber. I'm starting to get really wiped. I've only got a couple more in me, I think. If we make one that looks really good, one that I really like, I think we're going to call it. I know I said I was going to go on for a while today, but I got it later. But you know what? This is fun. We'll definitely be doing Frankensaber streams again. It was experimental. I didn't think this format would work that well, but I might actually do this a few times. But I still owe you a Lego build, and I still owe you the Star Wars Kazoo concert, so I can't do Frankensabers all the time. All right. Now I can't get to my mouse that well. All right. What are we doing this time? The crystal is... Well, we have to go all the way down to see that the first crystal is blue, and we just did blue, so the next crystal is purple. We can do purple. It's been a little while since we did the purple one. There we have a... There's our purple. And it wants the switch, the power and control red switch again. That's this fancy one. All right. What do we want for grips? Top grip says Control Vader. That's my fancy name for this one with a pointy looking decor. It's interesting that it lists this as a top sleeve because I personally would use this as a bottom sleeve. But those points give it a nice spiky look. So let's go ahead and stick it on like that. Bottom sleeve. Elemental Wood Swirls. Yeah, that definitely doesn't go together. Elemental Wood Swirls is this one again. All right, Emitter. The top listed E is a... I'm not seeing E. Let's scroll a bit. Control spikes. They're not really spikes, but it's this bit with the little pointy things on the end. They're not really spikes, but I like this one. This one's the fancier of the two power and control emitters. Yeah, I don't think we found the saber yet, but what's the pommel? Peace and Justice Plain. That'll be this one. Both of the Peace and Justice pommels are pretty plain. There's that black one, and this, the one I just call plain, is this silver one. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah. Like the top, this is all the same theme. That's a cohesive unit. And then you get all this nonsense down here that doesn't go with it at all. Yeah, this is not the one. This is not the finale saber. It's not bad, but that piece definitely doesn't go with it. This piece theoretically could, but it's a brighter silver than the rest of the metal up here. Let's just light it up for a moment. There's our purple saber. All right. Let's randomize again. Because I want to have one really good looking one to end stream on. We will know that one when we see it. All right, randomize again. White crystal. Let's light up the crystal. All right, and now we need a switch on this thing. Defense tier. Protection and defense. The tier switch will be this one. This is the one from protection and defense that's very simple and not the less fancy of the two, but it's a nice teardrop shape. Yeah, this is the core that the switches are a little tight on. Grip. Top. Peace and Justice narrow stripe. That'll be this one. And then the second grip is, I call it Peace Grip. So another grip from the same theme at the top sleeve. And I specifically called that one. I don't know why this one's not screwing on. There we go. The switch wasn't all the way together. So this is the one that I call Peace Grip, just because it's got the little grippy things that you can hold on to. And it's got that nice gold stripe on the bottom, which complements the teardrop accent a little bit. All right, we need an emitter. The top E is... Oh. You know what? I'm going off book with this one because I'm getting tired and I think we can make this one look good. The first E that it shows is elemental wide. This one, that doesn't really match what we've got going on here. But the next E listed is protection and defense flat, with this one with the gold accents, which matches theme with the switch, and the gold accents match this little gold ring on the bottom Peace and Justice grip as well. So I think, yeah, we might be getting close to our pommel. Elemental plane. Again, I'm not going to use elemental there. I'm not going to use an animal for this last one. Power and control flat. That would be... It had to break theme, but this theme, this particular pommel, I don't think breaks theme too egregiously. There's the pommel. It's just got this one red. You know what? We're not using this one. I'm making executive decision. Peace black. Or what if yeah, I like that. You know, I'm going off book for the pommel cap on this one because I want to wrap this up. And I have something here that I think actually looks almost like a cohesive complete saber. You've got your black bits here, the grip, the stripy bits up here. You got these gold bits at the top, the middle, and at the bottom. You got these gold accents. I think this might be our best looking saber of the night, actually. And it mixes ancient Jedi parts with modern Jedi parts as well. So you got the old and the new. And let's just light it up. And this is also a fitting place to finish, because if I remember correctly, we got the white crystal, the purest and rarest of them all. I like this saber. This is a good saber to finish on. So what if it doesn't really have a color? It's got the blade of light. We made one. We mixed modern Jedi and ancient Jedi to make a saber that I really think looks good together. We're gonna definitely do this again another night. Let me I'm not gonna rush to take this one apart. I'm gonna hold this up on camera while I switch over to my browser real quick and find us someone to raid. Yeah, I think this is the best one we did all night. And if I had started when I was planning to, I would have gone longer. But we did a bunch of sabers today. I think we're good. Let's see. Who do we have to raid? Who's online tonight? Yeah, but I don't think... Oh, man. Not a lot of people on tonight. That's okay. Let's try rating John Lee music. He's a Star Wars fan. Although last I checked, he wasn't really he wasn't doing a regular stream. He was doing a special. Let's try rating over to Heavenly tonight. Our raid might not show up because a lot of channels block raids of one, but it's worth a try. So anyways, have a good night, everyone. It's nice to be back to streaming. I'll definitely do that Lego set within the next few days, probably. Now that I know we have well, I'll have to figure out how to do the cameras for that one, because that'll have to be a different angle than I have set up here. We'll have to see on the Legos, but we're definitely going to do lightsabers again soon. All right. I do like this final saber. Let's start the raid. All right, the raid has been created. Yeah. I like this one. All right, have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. All right, have a good night. Talk to you soon. All right, good night. I seem to have raided into a be right back. That's okay. Good night.